course, historically, ancient smiths would be using charcoal or coal. And it could be as simple as a hole in the ground and your bellows to feed air into the coals could be a literal bag of leather. Very, very primitive setups. It's incredible, very humbling and somewhat humiliating holding ancient swords, seeing the complexity of their patterns and being like, oh my God, dudes in dirt huts with no power tools were doing work that I could never dream of doing. And the world of studying historical swords is an endless practice. It's incredible. I mean, I barely scratched the surface being a sword maker for 20 years. It's called the K-wood sword, and it's unique of its time because this is right on the cusp of the Viking Age and the medieval era. But the guard is distinctly medieval in that some Crusader era swords had guards like these. For me personally, in a sense, swords of course can be a study of history. I think they ask big questions, challenging questions about human nature. I think the content of a person's character comes out, hopefully not today in our day and age, but certainly in the ancient medieval world, when they would wield that weapon. Are you going to use it for good, for protection, or for destruction? This is probably my most favorite historical sword I've ever made. I think it's my most one-to-one accurate. So this is an Anglo-Saxon type, Peterson type L sword. And one fun thing about the sword, the wood is 5,000-year-old bog oak from Yorkshire, England. So the wood that I used on my recreation is actually older than the original sword itself. How often do you get to play with material that old? I appreciate the Medieval Institute so much and the faculty here because clearly they're professional academics who care about the history, teaching and educating their students. But finding ways to invite people into that history is a total other game that they're clearly doing here, and I'm so honored to be a part of that.
I think it's great. It's allowing everyone to see how these blacksmiths used to do everything in the past.
I'm really interested in blacksmithing myself, so yeah, I just think that being able to learn more about the craft and how it's used like so many years ago is how it's still used today and how we can kind of learn from that.
And so I hope in my work people feel invited into a mythical world that they can get lost in, but also that they find intrigue in what the Medieval Institute is doing here at Notre Dame.